Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's call. Leverage your business via your book. My name is Natasha Denman. And before I keep chatting to you and delivering tonight's content, I just want to ensure that you can hear me and you can see my PowerPoint presentation at your end. So let's get a couple of highs coming through. There's a lot more of you coming on the call as we're clicking past 8 o'clock. Hey Abdul, nice to see you loud and clear from Darren. Hi, how you going? And Elena, ho ho ho. You already got your Santa little comments there. Hey Pina, great to see you on the call. Perfect, excellent. And Daniela, and there was someone else, but I quickly deleted that message. So hey Daniela. So thank you very much everybody for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. And I trust that you're going to get a lot of value out of the call tonight, lots of ideas to share with you. And I expect lots of questions. The best value out of the call is when your questions come through and I can actually expand on the content that I have prepared for you guys. So to ensure that you can go off and then create that leverage around your business. If you're in the process of planning to write a book, or you're in the middle of writing a book or thinking about it, because writing books is one of my passions, and I will tell you a little bit about my journey as to where I have come from where I've been, and that's been all because of my books, and that's why nowadays I teach people how to write theirs easily and effortlessly. So guys, just to set up the call, there's heaps more of you coming through, so we're going to have a big call tonight. I won't take anyone off mute. Just type your questions in the chat box. Every few minutes, I will stop and check in for questions. So if you've got them ready for me ahead of time, and then I can address them as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll keep powering through and making sure that that I cover off everything that I have for you tonight. I love lots of questions, and I love an interactive group, which we'll see how tonight turns out. Ensure that you've got your pen and paper or a Word document open up at your end so you can take those notes. And as a result of listening to the webinar tonight, I strongly encourage you that you put into action 1 to 3 things that you're going to learn. And perhaps what I'll ask you at the end of the call is what was your key learning or your aha moment as a result of listening tonight? Every time I listen to a webinar, I always implement something in my business. Every time I read a book, I'll implement. Very much a big believer that the being comes with the doing. So that's what I encourage you to do if you want success in your businesses. Cool. So a little bit about me, because I can see a lot of new names that I haven't seen on my calls. So I need to introduce myself so you guys know who is coming to you. So Natasha Denman, and that's my little family there in the picture. And I started out in business 3.5 years ago with a brand that's not actually displayed on this screen. My original brand was called PRS Coaching, and yes, I started out as a coach. And I have a background in human behavior, psychology, psychophysiology, and all of that NLP stuff, cool stuff that we, a lot of us on the call I can see are part of and have done and been qualified as. However, I struggled in my first 12 months of business. I really struggled. I barely had 3 clients by the end of the first 12 months. Yes, I was working part-time in my day job, had an 18-month-old, and was 5 months pregnant with my second child. But in that time, what I did was definitely focus on product development, and started writing my book pretty much 7 months after I started my business. Someone gave me this idea at a networking event over a coffee chat, and he said to me, you know some really cool stuff. You should really write a book about it. Well, don't give me half a decent idea. I thought, you know what? Why not? I've read so many books. I've got so much experience and intellectual property that I can talk about in my own words, and with everything that I've tested and trialed, and I'll write that book. So 13 months after my business started, this was the time that my daughter was being born, and my first book came out, The 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss. And that was the niche that I chose to operate in as a coach, to work with people around their mindset and specialize in that area. And very soon after that, I rebranded to Ultimate Weight Loss, and all of a sudden, the journey to the ultimate world began. And specifically, I niched it down to lose the last 10 kilos. So this was the turning point for me, and this is what I'm passionate about, helping newer and startup businesses as well as established businesses in doing for themselves to leverage beyond their selling their time for money, and really to create that passive income and create a bit of a buzz around their business as well. Because if no one knows you but you've got the coolest product or service, that it doesn't count. So really, books for me are a huge marketing tool that provides that credibility and expertise, and thus why I have now, I'm going to be a published author of 4 books, and have developed the other brands that are also working successfully, alongside each other, as well as having that Ninja Business Chicks brand that that Donna Brown and myself, if you can see, that's who's apparently the organizer of the call. We actually share a GoToMeeting account, and yeah, so those are the brands that have been developed. My baby as of late is the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Weekend, which I began hosting just late this year. And we've completed the first 10 authors who are now in publishing, as well as have nearly locked out the 10 for February. There's only one spot left, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the call. So very passionate about books, very passionate about getting people to leverage their business via their book. That's why I came up with this call, where I needed to share with you the tips and tricks as to how to do it. I was actually talking to a client earlier today, and we were talking about the program that she was putting together, and then how it could turn into a book, and then how it can turn into a series of webinars and a whole stack of other programs and products. So that we'll cover off a little bit later on tonight. So that's me in a nutshell. If you want to know more about me, you can always Google me, and you'll find stacks of information. Now, the more and more I get into business, the more searches that come up under my name. And I'll tell you about my new website that launched today, which I'm very excited about, which is related to this particular business. So why would you want to leverage via a book? Okay. So definitely a book will expand on and has the potential to expand on many different angles, and however you choose to take it. So you can create those multiple streams of income. And nowadays in our business, we have about, off the top of my head, minimum 8 to 10 streams of income that come in from the various things that we do. So this is where you can move beyond that 6-figure business and go into 7 figures, and really the sky's the limit. And having a book to leverage through, you can definitely get those opportunities where you may be asked to be a keynote speaker, and travel the world if should you choose. Otherwise, you could, like just like myself, I have yet to start traveling, and I'm doing that in 2 weeks' time, where I'm going off to Sydney and Brisbane, and next year I'm going to do Adelaide and Perth and America as well. So, however, up until this point in my business, I have spent and grown it to multiple 6 figures, just from my little girl cave. And for those of you that know me on the call and have seen the girl cave, you would see it's like a 3x2 little oddly shaped room, and it's got my built-in desk and my shelf, and everything has just happened from here or other parts of the world wherever I've been traveling. So really, you would be able to definitely get that exposure worldwide because of your book, as well as be able to share it with people, and then start working with clients internationally. Books, no doubt, will increase your credibility and expertise in the marketplace. One of the biggest challenges that I faced when I was brand new in business, I just didn't have anything to show for. And if you're in a service-based business, it's very important to have tangible assets attached to your business, because oftentimes people would like to hold and feel something that to show for in terms of what they have invested, if it was in a coach or a consultant that they have hired. So amazing, amazing opportunities. I mean, I could have gone on and on about the benefits behind having a book to back up your business and your expertise, and to look for to establish yourself as a go-to person, and really to take it to the next level. it's really amazing leveraging into other products. It's easier to develop once you have done your book. It's a lot easier to develop further programs, mini products. If you choose so, run retreats and various other online courses, e-courses. I mean, all of these things that you eventually do, what I always say to my people is make sure you record absolutely everything that you record. So this webinar right now is being recorded. It becomes part of my intellectual property. If I wanted to, I could transcribe it and I could create a mini ebook out of this. Well, at ours talking probably won't be such a mini ebook. It will probably be around 8,000 words of copy. So really amazing ways to reproduce into other avenues that you can create income with. It's and the final thing I wanted to mention from this particular slide is it's a lot easier to approach people for partnerships and joint ventures to get that foot in the door, because that's one of the last points when it comes to really leveraging your business is by working together with people who have, say, the list of target market that you're wanting to attract. And to set these up, you really have to build a proper relationship with those joint venture partners. No one's just going to let you be in partnership with them unless they think you're fair income. The books that I've got on this particular slide, a couple of the books that are coming out from the authors that attended the October 48-hour author weekend. So very excited for all of them, and they're already selling them and having amazing feedback on the journey that they have been on. So what is leverage? Okay, so I asked actually this question, and I know this slide might be coming across at your end a little bit blurry, but a few of you responded to me, and I think all of the answers that you gave in terms of what is leverage were correct. So I just wanted to share them in case you missed that particular post. So Maggie said to me, it means taking everything that you've got, personality, talent, skills, knowledge, and intention, and serving it up in the most effective way possible for your clients and others. And that all of these are correct, and I love that you guys interacted. Daniela said leverage to me means swapping little time for more money, and that's absolutely correct. And I love Julie saying it's recycling, and yes, once you have come up with your skeleton or core content, you can always take it in different directions. And what you can do in future is chunk it down, and whereby the more you've talked about a topic, the more you actually have to say about it. So where I may have talked about, say, for example, social media in one chapter of the Ninja Couch marketing book, I can nowadays, after being involved in it for about 5 years, I can literally write a whole book on social media. And maybe I could write a book each on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube by itself. So there it is, that leverage where you can create from your core or skeleton content, you can create subtopics or other books as a result of it. And Wendy added in there a strategic advantage provided in a negotiation. I call it myself a strategist, and I love Survivor, but I have a lot to learn. Excellent. So thank you so much for all of you who shared that. And I couldn't have said it better myself. It truly is what leverage stands for, and it is about replacing you eventually, so that you can enjoy a better lifestyle, and as we do. And someone that I worked with yesterday asked me if it was true that we had this lifestyle that we do, and I would say 6 months ago I probably would say no, I was still working pretty hard in my weekends and all that, but nowadays we work a 4-day week and totally have those 3 days off, and I just enjoy both sides of a life, which is having the busy business Monday to Thursday, and then enjoying a long weekend every weekend, and working towards then reducing my nighttime work next year by a couple of evenings. So it happens, but it happens by taking those little 1%ers at a time, and fine tuning and refining everything that you're doing. And through systemizing and productizing, that's exactly what you're doing. So let me stop for a second and ask, are there any questions so far? Because we're about to get on to the 3 topics that I want to share with you tonight. And that is, we're going to talk about your new business card. Okay. Number 2 is we're going to talk about your sales funnel, so how the book plays a part within this. And then we're going to talk about creating multiple products. Now, I just want to check in with you guys because I have got my chat box has actually, I don't know if it's disappeared or it's just empty. Can someone just say hi? Can I get Elena or someone there on the call to say hi? That I want to make sure that something is coming up. Oh, it's gone on another. Thanks, guys. It's gone on another side. First time I'm seeing this. Thanks everyone for saying hi. It's just disappeared off, but the system looks different tonight. Oh well, doesn't matter. I've got it back so I can make sure that I can see the questions. Otherwise, I'm gonna think that you guys are not talking to me. It's like looks completely different. Okay, cool. So your new business card. Well, I love it. I absolutely love when I go to networking events nowadays and meet with people face to face. I still carry around my business card, but realistically, I don't really intend too much to give it out to people. When they ask me for it, yes, I'll pull it out and give it to them. But very much, I'm big on building relationships, and take I take my books. I have a little a goodie bag, and they're my little props. And I'll take my books as well as some of my clients' books, and I'll stand up and I'll say, "Hey guys, this is what I do. This is what I've helped other people do, and here are my books as well." I mean, I don't really need to say anything more. I could just stand up and the book will do the talking. A lot of the time I come home with no books. It's happened that a person in the room generally goes, I'll just want to buy every one of your books. So can you just process my payment and I'll take them off you? So I'll come home and I'll refill my little bag with more books and go off again whenever I go out networking. So I always intend, I network, even though I've been in business 3.5 years, and literally I could be stuck in my room and still create sales and generate sales. But I'm a very big social butterfly, so I love to go out and actually meet people face to face a couple of times a week. And I think this is very, very powerful. So if you're a new business owner and you're going to write a book, I definitely suggest that you take that out and you actually get to know people. And even in some points when you want to get your foot in the door, is actually to give people your book. So oftentimes I have given away a lot of copies of my book. Yes, that cost me whatever $7 or $8 per book. However, the relationship that I have started and my story has got into an important person's hands, it's much more valuable to me than worrying about the $7 or $8 investment that I have given away. Oftentimes, I will when I meet people, if I didn't want to give them, say, my full blown paperback book, I will say, would you like to receive an ebook version of my book? And I'll send that out to them, because I want to be seen as a person who's adding value and willing to help other people. And a book is a business card like no other. So leveraging your business via your book in this way is you will get a lot more conversation starters. This is something that I've heard from the recent Ultimate 48-Hour Author Weekend authors, is that they're telling now a lot of people, and they're going through their pre-launch campaign about their books because they're still not holding them in their hands. Most books will come out around Christmas time or up until February. So what we do is we run them through this pre-launch campaign where they can sell as many books at pre-release, so they can actually earn back a lot of their investment. And they're getting a lot of conversations and a lot of sales happening and a lot of opportunities already popping up, and their book is not even tangible. I mean, purely by you guys seeing my upcoming book, this book is not out either. I have sold probably about 60 copies of this so far, and it's still not going to come out till around February next year. However, I'm offering it at pre-release, and people, they're getting their hands on it about $10 cheaper. So, however, is it picking up a lot of credibility and a lot of leverage around what I'm doing? Absolutely. And this is where we're going to go into the second point, where we're going to talk about how this all happens. So having a book, to leverage it, carry it around everywhere, and use it as your business card rather than your official business card. So what would you rather show people? The thing that's on the right hand side on your screen, or your actual book where they can actually learn a lot more about the process and what you do? Okay, Elena's just said that's a good idea. Any questions at this stage from any of you that you have? Please type them up, and I will as I see them, I'll answer them. I'm pretty good by this stage on webinars, and as I do quite a lot of them for other places as well, obviously for my business. Cool, guys. All right, let's talk about your sales funnel. Okay, so this is where awesome leverage happens. So what a lot of new business owners tend to do as a mistake is they tend to want to find those clients that are going to pay them the most per hour. Okay, and and this is what I did. I'm only talking about from personal experience. When I went out, I just thought I'll go and keep looking for those one-on-one clients and sign them up to my high-end packages straight up. And if I wasn't doing that, then I wasn't successful. Well, little did I know that to be successful in business takes a lot of patience and takes a bit of time to build that relationship with people and to add value to those people and to be able to engage them and get them to want to buy from you. So what happens with a book is the book really essentially becomes what we call the start of your sales funnel. So for all intensive purposes, you could have a free chapter from your book as an opt-in on your website to capture people's details and to start adding value to them. So this is where we call that part of the sales funnel as the attraction stage. Then, if the person loves the chapter, you might put them on an email sequence where you continue to add value. But at some point of this relationship building process, you may offer them to buy the book. You might even offer the book at a special once-off price, and then they might buy your book. So in your book, they're going to pick up a lot of your intellectual property and tips and strategies around what you stand for. And if they didn't want to do it themselves and they wanted to get more of you, perhaps this person will then decide, okay, well, maybe I really like this particular person, let's say Sarah the entrepreneur, and I'd like to go meet her, so I'll go and attend one of her workshops, because at the back of the book, Sarah has told me all the different packages and programs that she's got running. So with our Ultimate 48-Hour Authors, we encourage them at the back of the book, obviously after all of the content, is to have their packages and their programs advertised. If they, say, are offering workshops or keynote speeches where they would discuss certain topics, then they would advertise that. I often encourage them to put 3 different offers at the back of the book. One offer could be something free, something that would give a giveaway to continue adding value to the person. Second offer would be if they want to be a workshop presenter or a speaker, maybe there's certain topics that they could speak on and be contacted about. And third offer could be their packages in terms of people working with them one-on-one. However, we generally say don't advertise any prices and put down price on application, because a book will be around for a very, very long time. And if you advertise prices, you may increase them, but then if it's down on paper, you need to honor it. So I generally say get people to contact you if they're interested in working further with you. And through building the relationship, adding value to people, what ends up happening over a period of time with patience is that people will make that buying decision whether they will go forward and actually invest in the most help that they can get from you. So this is your higher end packages and your one-on-one. Another way to look at this sales funnel is actually to look at the top being your low end, your free stuff, and the bottom being your highest dollar figures that you get people to come along and do with you. And what you're doing throughout this whole process. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of detail right here, But what you're doing through this sales funnel process is that you're taking people through the educational spectrum. So you're adding value, and you're getting them to a point to like you, trust you, know a bit more about how they can solve their problem, and get them to a point where they can they either make a decision to yes, I'll get the full help that you're offering, or no, I'll do this myself, because there's no reason why people couldn't buy my book, The Ultimate 48-Hour Author, and replicate everything that we do on the weekend through the tips and the steps that are shared in that book. What I also know, though, is that a lot of people would like to have it all done and project managed for them. So all the publishing, who to go for, where we've got all the resources and all the people that we're using. So some people will go, well, I can't be bothered finding all of these people, and yes, I know what the steps are, but if I can get it quickly and easily all in one place, then I'll come and do it with you. So they're the people that choose to then opt and do the program, and obviously that fast tracks them over doing it on your own. I get asked a lot of the time, how did I actually learn to do all of this, and how did I go through the process myself? I realistically just sat down and start doing it. In Back in 2011 January, I decided I was going to write the book. I set myself a 90-day goal, and that by 90 days I would have 90 pages in Word, which formatted is about 45,000 words, which is what we aim for to get in terms of a first book out. And I just started writing. I didn't know what particular format to follow. I just wanted to share everything that I had done and had worked for me on my journey, and I just all dumped it in one book. Everything that I knew, everything that I had studied, I just dumped it all in one book and organized it. Maybe I have a natural knack for getting my thoughts out from my head onto paper. However, I didn't work. I just worked it out as I went along. The next step was, how do I find a publisher? So then I asked a lot of places, spoke to a lot of publishing, self-publishing, obviously, houses, and just took it one step at a time. And look, the whole process still took me only 6 months. However, I didn't. I made a lot of decisions and I made them fast. And that's the difference between some people who take 10 years to bring out a book and some people who take somewhere between 4 to 6 months, because the publishing process can sometimes take 2 to 3 months to complete. So I worked it out myself, and once I had done it a couple of times and had done it in 48 hours, then I thought, you know what, I could teach other people to do this. And there is a system, there is a structure that I follow. So therefore I can systemize it all and do it. And obviously it happened, was super successful, and we're looking at already booking our April weekend coming up. So the sales funnel is very, very important in your business. It's very important to have the different points of entry that people can come in on, and to give amazing value at every step of the way. Because someone who aiming to just get those high ticketed clients, or people into your high end programs, is a surefire way to take a very, very long time to get to where you are. If you have a lot of steps within your sales funnel, then you start building that trust and responsiveness, and people can take lower risks with you until they build that trust at the other end. Cool. So let me stop for a second. Oh, I've gone on to the other slide, and ask if there are any questions at this stage. Everything just keeps changing on my screen all the time. I'm going to take a drink of water. It's either you guys are taking lots of notes, or something is not working right at my end in terms of the question box, because it's the first time I'm experiencing the question box in this way. Let me have a look. Okay, cool. All right. One person has said that he's still here, so maybe it is working. You guys are just intently taking notes at the other end. Okay, let's move on to creating multiple products. Okay, so this is where really your leverage comes to takes it. You take it to another level, because writing a book generally you're pretty limited in terms of how much you can have in the book, and I'm sure there's a lot more intricate details in terms of what you put in there, and you may want to expand on it within your programs. And what can happen, and this is what happened with myself, is that when I wrote the 7 Ultimate Secrets to Weight Loss, and I continued working with people one on one around their weight loss mindset, and one day my mentor and coach said to me, Nat, it's about time that you actually sat down and systemized your business. And my big project of the book was completed. And I said, okay, so, write down, how you would sign up a client and what are the steps that you go through. And then what do you work on them in um, one, uh, one session, in the first session, then in the next session, and all that kind of stuff. And I said, and I sat down and I started, systemizing, and I realized that I was following the same kind of system with most of my clients. Yes, the coaching structure in terms of within the session sometimes was agenda free, but I would be going through the same steps and educating on the similar topics, or sharing the similar concepts. And once I systemized that, I go, oh my God, this is a lot from what comes from my book, but then there's a lot more that I've done and learned since then. So then what I did is took a lot of the content that was in my book, as well as added additional steps, and developed the Ultimate Mindset Success Program, which was the Ultimate Weight Loss 12-step transformational system. And that's the little picture that you can see on the right hand side of your screen. So what I ended up doing is developing a niche in a box for coaches and health and wellness practitioners, and even people who were weight loss success stories that would be trained in this to be able to run it with their own clients. So from a book became a 12-step program, and from that turned into a license system which has business support, like business explosion support, and a stack of other little mini products, including the book, made up the kit for people to be able to access and utilize this. And it gave them a system that they could run with others, that meant that I could remove myself from the ultimate weight loss one-on-one coaching of clients, and I can move forward with my product development niche, as well as my book writing niche that is my passion. So my weight loss business was truly the vehicle where I needed to build my credibility, establish myself, learn all the foundations around how to grow a business to 6 figures and beyond, and then to move on to my business coaching, in a way, mentoring niche, which is what runs through my veins and what I'm really passionate about. So so therefore, what happened is I obviously leveraged and created a program, as having the book being the starting point from it. Secondly, when you see where you're looking at the blue folders here, that's a second niche in a box. I ended up creating a product development business in a box for those coaches that wanted to get involved in training and coaching others on how to develop their own products. And this particular niche has the Ultimate Mindset Success Program for business owners. Now, have a listen to this. When I wrote the Weight Loss Mindset Success Program, as we know, or we may not, but mindset is transferable. So what I did is I removed all my weight loss examples. I put in business examples, and that all of a sudden, with about 3 or 4 hours work, I had a whole other program that I could rip off and duplicate of myself, and create within another niche, where they got 2 programs. They got a business mindset program, as well as a ultimate product generator program. So they had 2 programs that they could run with their clients. Earlier this year, I wrote Ultimate Procrastination Cure, which is the little folder picture that you see on the left hand side of your PowerPoint. And what that ended up being is a second program in the weight loss system. So now both niches ended up having 2 lots of programs to be able to deliver and know what to work step by step with their clients. So as a result of all of this, I have run many workshops. I have run webinar programs. I've got everything recorded, and available as resources for my licensees, which when they invest in the system, they get the back end resources and business support from us. And therefore both of those particular niches, they're operating and ticking over in the background while other people are running them, while I focus on my ultimate 48-hour author and helping others get to this point. So oftentimes nowadays I'm mentoring a lot of people around creating a license system, obviously writing their books, and everything has to do around how can you get your thoughts out of your head into a product that is tangible, that we can leverage so that you can sell it, and create that passive income, as well as help other people succeed. So one of my licensees, as well as Ultimate 48-Hour Authors, Elena's on the call tonight, and she's probably heard me say this so many times over and over, but I'm so proud of her because she has been a licensee of Ultimate Weight Loss, as well as now about to publish her book, Why Men Made Me Fat. And she's just taken those steps day by day, and have been that little quiet achiever, but has done an amazing job. And I've been there to support her every step of the way. So I want to really acknowledge her for taking those steps and now taking it the next level with her book. So creating multiple products is one of the things that can be done in so many different ways with the same content that you actually have. Don't think that you need to always recreate the wheel, okay? Obviously come up with your own unique stuff, but think about how you can leverage it in many, many different formats. For example, as I said earlier in the call, you can speak out, like if you've done a webinar, you can transcribe it and turn it into an ebook. If you've done a series of webinars, why not transcribe all of that series and turn it into a book? My fellow ninja business chick, Donna, she and I have been doing a monthly podcast for the last 12 months. And the other day we were doing the product generation podcast where she was talking about her product and how she went about it, and so was I. And midway through the podcast, we said to ourselves, because we've already obviously published a book together, we said to each other, well, we should just transcribe these 12 months of podcast, and there's the next Ninja Business Chicks book. And we just laughed and we said, yeah, we totally should, because there's so many people on Elance and on your outsourcing websites that would do transcription for at a very low cost. There's just a comment here. Tell them I just posted my cover on Facebook. Oh, very good. Elena Carpenter has just posted her 3D cover on Facebook. We can have a look at it. Oh, cool. Oh, why does this delete both comments? You had another comment there as well. No, that's cool. So I might share that with you guys later. So there's so many different ways that you can do this, and you don't have to do it the hard and the old-fashioned way. After all, the way we do and complete the book over the 48 hours is that we actually get the author to speak it out. And it's different from what other people do. And it's the style that we train people on how to do it. However, not every single person can do that. That's why we actually interview people on how they can actually get it done. So I'll tell you a little bit about this. And please post any questions if you do have them at this stage. In terms of any logistics that you want to know a little bit more in depth about. But I also have stacks of other webinars that I have run on self-publishing, on authoring your way to business success, a story from someone who's become a first-time author. That actually, that all of those videos will be on my website that I will share with you soon, because it's brand new. It just got launched today, so I'm very excited. So the Ultimate 48-Hour Author Weekend is all about making it possible and easy, and having a step-by-step system. And we actually 100% guarantee it, because I'm only interested in 100% success, because that's why only 10 authors come at any one time. Elena just quickly asked the question, would you charge for a webinar into an ebook? Would you charge? So are you saying, would you sell the ebook at a cost? Is that what you mean? Emily's saying, awesome cover, Elena. Well done. sell. Yes, you, of course you can sell your ebook. Absolutely. I mean, you may not even release the recording of that webinar. And anyway, who would know that that's the exact same thing? Where would people go to actually just match it up? Oh my God, this is the same thing that she said on this particular call. Because what you'll do is you'll end up planning it up. There might be a lot of things. Are there any questions that you're not going to put in there in terms of an ebook? So you'll clean it up so it's content only. Cool. So this is how we get it done. This is Russell, who wrote the book Free Time. And this is some people talking to their phones, and other people record like this into their computers, and others walk around and all that. As long as we've got a recording device that can end up going onto the computer, they go away. We've got 7 1-hour writing sessions on this particular weekend, where they complete their 12 chapters as well as their introduction and afterward, and then it's off to the transcriptionist. These are just some of the fun stuff pics that I wanted to share with you guys. We have dinner. My wonderful husband is our chef for the weekend, and really outdid himself with the amazing food that he served up. There's Elena. See, I knew I had a picture somewhere with you. We had a headshot and then book cover shot photo shoots at the end of the weekend to finish it up on a high and a fun note. So that was a whole lot of fun that we did there. There's Sabrina, who was our scholarship winner last time, and she was just hanging out by the pool and doing her stuff, and then there was fun in the evening with Anthony and Stuart there, relaxing after a work hard, play hard type of day. I won't play these videos. These are feedback videos, which you're more than welcome to play all 10 on the new website. I just basically wanted to share with you our brand new look package in terms of what this weekend has to offer. And I have nicely separated everything into 4 sections. I was working on this over the weekend because we have now added more value than before in terms of this. Oh, this keeps changing on me. So basically, for the ultimate 48-hour author weekend, we provide everything, absolutely everything, from start to finish, from the mentoring, your marketing, your all your support that you need until you're holding your book in your hands, to publishing an ebook version of your book, your photo shoot at the weekend, putting your book in a library, all your copying, copy editing, proofreading, formatting that the publisher does, because we have got a publisher that we use for all of our authors, where you get all the rights retained for your book. And as I've said to people, often people ask me the question, how many how much does it cost to reprint a book? And I say it's about $7 an average to reprint. So if you're looking at reprinting 100 every time, you're looking about 700, and then you're probably selling them about $30 per book. When I originally printed and published my first book, my reprint costs were $15 because I did it out. I outsourced internationally, which meant that I always had to get my books from them. But I actually got my local publisher to redo my weight loss book, and now I just print them at $7 here locally. But I had to redo a whole format so she can do that for me. We do everything away, so we get to go away in luxury accommodation. You get cooked for. For every single meal. We get your transcription done and paid for through the package. We help you set up a webinar and promote your book. Set up a basic website through the wonderful Matt at Platform B, who has just launched my new website today. And all your checklists and bits and pieces in the 7 segments that you can see here on the mentoring and accountability are all of the essentials around the marketing that happens around your book. So we do 7 1-hour recording segments, as well as 7 45-minute teach segments around the marketing and the pre-launch. And then there's stacks of bonuses. There's your Ultimate Product Generator Manual, your Ninja Couch Marketing Paperback, again for more marketing savvy. you get a 10-hour e-course that Donna and I ran for the Ninja Stars to Business Explosion. And then you get a 6-month Inner Circle membership for the people who actually have anything to do with me. They're going to our Inner Circle. So the whole package is $8,997 plus GST. And at the moment, there is one seat left in February. And February weekend runs 21st to the 23rd. We've got 9 locked in, and April's open for bookings, and we've got 8 seats left in April. So that's April 25th on Anzac Day and running through to the 27th. I've tried to avoid school holidays as well as Easter, and because I'm off to America a few days after that, that's the best date that I could come up with for April. So guys, if you do want to see if you would qualify, because I said not everyone qualifies, you would need to have a strategy interview with me for about 30 minutes. And you need to text me on my mobile number that you can see there, or 0412085160. And to secure a spot, a $500 non-refundable deposit goes as a result. Now for tonight, because always when I do a webinar, I like to do a bonus. For tonight till midnight, there are 2 bonuses for the action takers, and that is 2 bonus hours of one-on-one mentoring with me, which nowadays is worth actually $1,100 with GST, because it's $500 plus GST per hour to work with me, as well as I'll give you the copy when it comes out of the Ultimate 48-Hour Author book. And by all means, check out our new website, which is ultimate48hourauthor.com.au, and get your free gift there. To get you started on this journey. We've got a few tips on how you can get your book written in 48 hours. So that's amazing. So now, while I'm waiting on a couple of questions to come through, let's go on Facebook, and I'm going to show you our snazzy accommodation of where we're going in February. Let me see if I can find it and show you where we're going. And I should have had the link ready, shouldn't I have? Let's see. And Elena, we'll have a look at Elena's book cover as well. Let's have a look if we can. Actually, it's on the Ultimate 48-Hour Author fan page. I just want to make sure. Awesome. Cool. Excellent. All right, here we go. I think that's the author weekend. So we've got our little thing here. Oh, it's not happening for me. The internet. Oh, here she is. Here's Elena's book. Very nice. Very nice. Good on you. And I love it. And secretly, that's Stuart on the floor, hiding his face that we had him on there. So well done, Elena. Looks fantastic. I love it. And have you you're gonna have your website up too, aren't you? Soon. Cool. Abdul's asking a question. Nat, does the one-on-one consultation with you have to be about the package you're offering, or generally about my business? We can look, the half an hour can be used for either or, because I would need to just work out where you're at. So definitely I need to know more about your business, because I need to get to know where you're at, what you're doing, and what your plans are. So yes, guys, you can have that half an hour with me to have a more of a chat, because look, you might not be ready to do this now. You might be ready to do it in 6 months or whatever. For me, as I said to you, and I explained it before, it's about building a relationship. It's about assisting you where you're at in your journey right now. What happens after, it will just happen. So for me, it's not that important where the conversation goes, as long as you get value from it. And I know everyone who has a conversation with me, even sometimes I give away 15-minute power chats, we end up, they walk away with so many ideas. So if you want to do that with me, just let me know. Just text me, and we can have a further chat. And I'd love to meet as many people as I haven't met before. But here's the house, guys. This is the house, and hopefully this is shown at your end. But this is the house we're going to in February. That's nearly booked up. So it's just gorgeous. It's huge. It's got, I don't know, something like over 8 bedrooms, and stacks of training areas, and common room areas, and double kitchens, I think, and just the bonds that get created at that weekend, and it feels like you're there for a week, not 48 hours. But that's the house that we're going to in February. Oh, thank God that came up then. Cool. All right. Abdul says, sorry, I meant about the bonus hour. The bonus hours, Abdul, yeah, they'll be about your business most likely, and not just your book, and not just the book. So there's 2 bonus hours. So yeah, I would suggest we'd be discussing your business. Yeah. Elena says, don't forget about the value of meeting other people wanting to be successful in business, like-minded. Yeah, thanks, Elena. Yeah, I think that's super important that you mentioned, and yeah, hanging out with people in that mindset is super important. Thanks, Abdul. He says the house is very nice. Elena just mentioned, totally recommend Life Transforming. And yes, it is Life and Business Transforming. What's the mobile again? Sorry, guys. Here's my other screenshot. My screen keeps going all over the place. I'm not used. Oh, here we go again. Just keep clicking out of it. But yeah, that's my mobile there. Obviously, you can find any information, contact information on me if you just Google me and you go to that new website, which is very exciting. But thanks so much for, thank you, Sarah. There's a Sarah. Thank you for saying that this has been very valuable. And Jane, awesome to have you on the call. So we've got a few minutes left. So any questions you want to ask me, I'm here and open to sharing and explaining anything that you need explained. Because I've done it a few times before. Now there's stacks of people. We're actually planning a 12 book launch party for the October attendees in March, and we're going to invite the media along, and we're going to have all 12. Why 12? Because there was 10 of you at the weekend. There's one me. I'm bringing out my book then as well, and there's going to be one of my one-on-one clients who I've been helping the last few months, and she wants to participate in the book launch. So we're all coming back together in March, and it's going to be one big, huge launch party that we're going to host. I believe it's going to be in Doncaster. So keep your eyes peeled if you want to come along and check out the 10 books that were as a result of the October Ultimate 48-Hour Author weekend. But I just love doing this for people. It's I see them change and shift in their self-worth, in their confidence. Like from the Friday when they come there, they're all scared and not sure and overwhelmed, and like kind of just really not like uncertain. And as the weekend progresses, you can see how their posture changes. They're standing up taller. They're feeling more confident. They're getting all the work under their belt, and it's just something that I love seeing the shift physically in people as well. Christy's just saying, thanks for the tip about transcribing a webinar and turning it into an ebook. I just messaged the person I was guest speaker on a webinar, and I'll get it transcribed and turn it into an ebook. Awesome, thanks. Great. So let me ask you guys, what was your one aha moment or learning that you got out of tonight? Because I'd love to finish off on that. I love when I actually educate people on some things where they can share that with me, and so that I can see where was the best learning that you had tonight. Oh, this question box is really driving me insane because it just keeps changing everything on my screen. Oh, wow. Okay. Abdul says, I like the sales funnel. Abdul, this is one of the biggest business changing things that happened when I learned about it and how it all happened, and how important it is to take your clients onto a journey in terms of their gaining their trust, adding value to them, and taking them to that next level. Emily says the sales funnel, but my partner wouldn't stop talking to me, so I will have to rewatch it. That's cool, Emily. Daniela says, thanks so much for your value this evening. Top point that I found most valuable is the sales funnel. Also, great. Darren says, for me, it was taking IP and tailoring it slightly for different markets. Great, excellent. That's a good one. Peanut has said, great tips turning webinars into ebook and offering free chapter on your website. Perfect. Thanks, guys, for sharing some of your aha moments and your learnings. There's so many things. I mean, there's only so much that we can cover off in an hour in terms of what you can do with your book. There's just tons of ideas, and it really is for me the starting point of you taking your business to that next level, and just being taken seriously by people around you. And the one thing that I see a lot of is uncertainty and lack of confidence in new business owners. And with this is partly an exercise. I believe it's a huge personal growth and development exercise, as well as an amazing marketing tool for your business. So I would encourage you, whether with my help or without my help, to go out there and get going on writing your stories and your books. And I know for certain that all of you have a story to share. And if my client, the locksmith Justin, who some of you will have met through our Ultimate Business Support Facebook group, can do it. As he says, anyone can do it. And he's the type of character that handed in his manuscript. When he came to me, he gave me this manuscript with no punctuation, without any capitalization, without any paragraphs. It was just one big blob of writing. But you know what? We got the experts to clean it up, and it still was his own intellectual property. So if you think you can't write, I mean, you can't possibly. What I say is, if you can talk, you can write. And if you can talk about your expertise, generally I would say you'd be able to qualify for the 48-hour author weekend. Greg just said the multi-use of what you develop hit home. I had heard it before, but the examples you gave were quality, practical examples. Thanks, Greg. And Emily says, and he's writing another one, as in Justin. Yeah, he is writing another one. We already spoke about the other one a few months ago, and he's just gearing up all his strength to get going again, because it is a project. Look, it is a project that needs to be coordinated. But yeah, it can be easy if you know the steps and you don't have to work them out yourself. So I love doing that and showing people those steps. All right, so guys, it's pretty much smack bang on 9 p.m. I want you to go and enjoy your evenings with your beautiful families, whatever you're doing. And if you have any questions for me, please send them through. And anytime, I'm open and available. I like to keep, in a way, an open door policy and chat to anyone who wants to chat with me. Remember the bonuses that are valid till midnight tonight, in terms of qualifying for a weekend, as well as getting the bonuses. Otherwise, we'll keep getting authors through and keep getting them published. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you, Emily. See you on Thursday for sure. Pina, thank you. Great. Thank you for the feedback and for saying it was a great webinar. Darren goes back to his diploma assessment. So you're welcome, Darren. And Abdul says, thanks, Dan. I love your webinar. Say hello to Stuart for me. Take care. Thanks, Abdul. I will for sure. I'll chat to you all, guys. I'm sure I'm going to catch you on another call. You have an awesome night, and we'll connect again soon. Bye, guys.